How are you guys doing? It is Tuesday, October 6th, 2020. I here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through yesterday's Elite matchups from Monday, October 5th. And of course, for today, I'm going to give you a glimpse into what to look forward to as everything's kind of going on as we move day by day. But first, starting in the NFL, there were two Monday night football games last night. In the first one, the Kansas City Chiefs hosted the New England Patriots. New England Patriots elite starting quarterback Cam Newton would be benched due to contracting the COVID virus. I think he's going to be out for a minimum of 2 weeks. But in the meantime, Brian Hoyer started in his place. He threw for 130 yards and a pick, but they eventually subbed in Jarrett Stidham, who completed 5 of his 13 passes and finished with a touchdown and 2 picks. On the ground, Damian Harris had 100 yards on 17 carries. Damiere Byrd was the leading receiver. He had 80 yards on 5 receptions. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Jawan Bentley would lead the team with 6 total tackles on the day. Chase Vinovich also had a sack. Not much going for the New England Patriots. They were able to score 10 points. Their only touchdown coming in the fourth quarter. For the Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, they would beat the Patriots 26-10. Their elite quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, would complete 19 of his 29 passes for 236 yards with 2 touchdowns on the day. Clyde Edwards-Helaire would finish with 16 yards on 64 carries on the ground and 27 yards through the air to give him 99 yards of total scrimmage on the day. Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs' elite tight end, would finish with 70 yards and 3 receptions, leading the Chiefs in receiving yards. Their elite wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, would finish with 64 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown as well. On the defensive side of the ball, Mike Pennell would finish with the most tackles on the day. He had 10. Frank Clark would have a sack, and so would Taco Charlton. And with this 26-10 win, the Kansas City Chiefs are now 4-0 on the season, and the New England Patriots now fall to 2-2. Let's take you out to another team that still remains undefeated after a win last night. The Green Bay Packers hosted the Atlanta Falcons yesterday and were able to beat them 30-16. For the Atlanta Falcons, their elite quarterback Matt Ryan would complete 28 of his 39 passes for 285 yards. On the ground, their elite running back Todd Gurley would finish with 57 yards on 16 carries and 2 touchdowns. He also had 6 receiving yards through the air as well. Olamide Zaccheaus would be the Falcons' leading receiver. He had 86 yards and 8 receptions. Their elite wide receiver Julio Jones would finish with 32 yards and 4 receptions, but he finished with, I think, the Atlanta Falcons franchise career receptions record. So, of course, that was a big day for Julio Jones yesterday. On the defensive side of the ball, their linebackers, Deion Jones and Foyesade Olokun, would lead the team in tackles. They had 8 on the day. And then Charles Harris would be the only player with a sack on the night for the Atlanta Falcons. Grady Jarrett, their defensive tackle, also had 4 tackles, 1.5 in the backfield. Looking out to the Green Bay Packers, their GOAT-level quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, would complete 27 of his 33 passes for 327 yards and 4 touchdowns. On the ground, Aaron Jones would finish with 71 yards on 15 carries. He also had 40 yards through the air to give him over 100 yards of scrimmage yards, and he also had a touchdown in the air. Their tight end, Robert Tonyan, would finish with 98 yards on 6 receptions and 3 touchdowns on the day. On the defensive side of the ball, Zadarius Smith would finish with 8 tackles and 3 sacks, 4 total tackles for loss, and Raven Green would finish with 8 tackles as well, giving him a sack and a tackle for the Green Bay Packers. And additionally, with this win, the Green Bay Packers, like I said, are now 4-0 as the Atlanta Falcons now drop to 0-4. With 4 weeks of NFL play being finished, I'm going to take you quickly through the standings before I jump into baseball. Starting off with the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills currently lead the AFC East with a 4-0 record. 2 games behind them are the New England Patriots, who are now sitting at 2-2. In third place, you have the Miami Dolphins, who are 1-3 in the division, and the Jets are sitting in last in the AFC East with an 0-4 record. Jumping out to the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers have the best record in the AFC North with a 3-0 record. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns are tied for second with a 3-1 record, and last in the AFC North are the 1-2-1 Cincinnati Bengals as of right now. Jumping to the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans currently have the best record in the AFC South with a 3-0 record. The Indianapolis Colts are second with a 3-1 record. The Jaguars are sitting at third in the AFC South with a 1-3 record. And the Houston Texans are sitting at the bottom of the division with an 0-4 record so far. In the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs are winning the AFC West with a 4-0 record. The Las Vegas Raiders are second with a 2-2 record. And the Chargers and the Broncos are both tied for last. The Chargers get third, Denver with fourth, both with 1-3 3 records on the season. In the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles had the best record in the NFC East with a 1-2-1 record. The Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys tied for second with a 1-3 record so far in the season. And sitting at the bottom of the standings in the NFC East are the 0-4 New York Giants. Looking out to the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers are winning that division with a 4-0 record. They're the one of two teams in the NFC with 4-0 records. The Chicago Bears are now second with a 3-1 record and tied for third or last in the NFC North. The Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings are both 1-3 on the season through 4 games. In the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers currently lead that division with a 3-1 record. The New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers are tied for second, both with 2-2 records on the season. The Atlanta Falcons are sitting at the bottom with a 0-4 record. In the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks are currently leading that division with a 4-0 record. The Los Angeles Rams are second in the NFC West with a 3-1 record. And you have the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers tied at the bottom with 2-2 records apiece. Just looking at who's still undefeated. In the AFC, the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Tennessee Titans, and the Kansas City Chiefs are all still undefeated. Every team that's leading an AFC division right now is undefeated. In the NFC, it's just the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks as of right now. But with that said, before I take you into baseball, I'm going to take you through basketball just to show you what's going on. Today, it'll be Game 4 of the NBA Finals. It's the 5th seed of the Eastern Conference. Miami Heat will take on the top seed in the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Lakers, on ABC at 9 o'clock. After the Miami Heat took over last game, Jimmy Butler playing probably the best professional game of his career. Looking out to the WNBA because the finals are still going on. In the bubble, Game 3 is going to happen between the Storm and the Aces at 7 o'clock. The Seattle Storm have a chance to officially put this away and sweep the Aces and win the 2020 Quarantine Championship. But that's what the WNBA is looking like as of right now. Taking you through soccer just to give you a glimpse into what's going on. Right now, teams are starting to enter international play, but not really big games as of right now. Just looking into what's going on today. You have Nicaragua, Guatemala, and international friendlies. You have MLS play. Not much soccer going on, but I'm just out here giving the update. And then last but not least, taking you through playoff baseball yesterday. Yesterday was the first day for the ALDS. And the first game of the day, the Houston Astros, who were the 6th seed, they took on the 2nd seed Oakland Athletics, who are in their own division, and in their first game they were able to get the 10-5 win against the Oakland Athletics. For the Oakland Athletics, it would be Chris Bassett who got the start. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters on the day. And then from there it was mostly just bullpen pitching. On the offensive side of the ball, their shortstop, Marcus Semien, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their first baseman, Matt Olson, would go 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs as he finished with his first home run of the day. Their designated hitter, Chris Davis, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his first home run of the playoffs. And then their catcher, Sean Murphy, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his first home run of the playoffs. Looking at how Houston did, the start would go to Lance McCullers Jr. He would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 5. But then following that, every pitcher would get about an inning or 2. Paredes would get 2. Looking at how their offense played, their center fielder, George Springer, would go 4 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He had a pretty big game. Their elite second baseman, Jose Altuve, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their elite third baseman, Alex Bregman, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his first home run of the playoffs. Their right fielder, Kyle Tucker, will go 2 for 5 with 2 runs. Their shortstop, Carlos Correa, will go 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit 2 home runs on the day. His first 2 home runs of the playoffs. And with this, the Houston Astros now lead this series 10-5. And in terms of what to look forward to, they play today at 4:37. Of course, their bubble being in Dodger Stadium, but of course I'll get to that as soon as I finish listing the Yankees and the Rays. So in yesterday's game, the 5th seed New York Yankees were able to beat the 1st seed Tampa Bay Rays 9-3 as Blake Snell picked up the loss. In the series, Blake Snell in this game, he would allow 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters on the day. On the offensive side of the ball, their left fielder, Randy Arozarena, Atlanta will go 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his first home run of the playoffs. Their first baseman, G-Man Choi, would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his first home run of the playoffs as well. Looking out to the Yankees, Garrett Cole will get the start and the win. He would allow 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 8 batters on the day. On the offensive side of the ball, their second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, would go 2 for 5 with 2 runs on the day. Their elite right fielder, Aaron Judge, would go 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their center fielder, Aaron Hicks, would go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their elite designated hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, would go 1 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run. He had a grand slam in the 9th inning. That will be his first, no, his, yeah, that'll be his first home run of the series. Their third baseman, Gio Urshela, will go 2 for 5. Their left fielder, Clint Frazier, will go 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run as he hit his first home run of the series. And then their catcher, Kyle Higashioka, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. He would also have a really big game. He had his first home run of the series. Of course, he hit it in the 5th inning. And with this win, the New York Yankees now lead the Rays 9-3. But out here looking into what playoff games to look forward to today. For this second day of divisional series action, the second day of ALDS action, the first day of NLDS action. The first game will take place at 2:08 as the 6th seed Miami Marlins take on the 2nd seed Atlanta Braves on Fox Sports 1. At 4:37, the Houston Astros will take on the Athletics for Game 2 on TBS at 4:37 in Dodger Stadium. First off, for the Braves Marlins game, that game will take place in Minute Maid Park in Houston. Sandy Alcantara will make a start against Max Fried. And then for the Houston Astros and the Athletics, it'll be Framber Valdez versus Sean Manaea at 4:37 in Dodger Stadium. At 8:10 on TBS, the 5th seed New York Yankees will take on the top seed in the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays, at Petco Park. For this start, it'll be Davy Garcia versus Tyler Glasnow. I think Tyler Glasnow takes this one, but of course we'll see how this game goes. And then at 9:38 on Fox Sports 1, in the last game of the night, the 5th seed San Diego Padres will take on the 1st seed Los Angeles Dodgers in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field. The Padres have not named their starter yet, but Walker Buehler has been named the starter for the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight for Game 1 to see if they can win the first game and see if they can get an advantage, because these series, it's a best of 5 and the first team to win 3 games wins, and it's probably better to get the first win of the series. But with that said, it is Tuesday, October 6th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. I want to thank you once again for listening to my piece, and peace out.